Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Janely Vayin, and I'm a member of the Latinas for Reproductive Justice Los Angeles chapter. Thank you for joining us for this community chat on health, resources, and information on COVID-19. Just want to let you all know that we will have two translators, Lorena and Itzel, and we're going to wait about a minute or so for a few more participants to join us.
Hola, buenos días. Mi nombre es Janely y soy parte del capítulo de Latinas por Justicia Reproductivas en Los Ángeles. Y vamos a esperar unos minutitos para que más personas se unan a la plática y vamos a tener interpretación durante toda la plática hoy.
Okay, so for anybody who's new that might have just joined in the last minute or so, I just want to reintroduce myself. My name is Janely Vayin, and I'm a member of the Latinas for Reproductive Justice Los Angeles chapter member. And I just want to thank everyone again for joining us this morning for a community chat. And we're excited that this will be a bilingual presentation.
Hola, buenos días. Solamente para repasar lo que mencionamos al principio, para las personas que se acaban de unir a la plática, el nombre de la persona que está empezando la plática es Janely y es parte del capítulo de Grupo de Líderes Latinas por Justicia Reproductiva en Los Ángeles y estamos muy contentas de que la plática hoy comunitaria va a ser bilingüe.
Okay. I think with that, we can go ahead and start.
Con eso vamos a comenzar.
So if we move on to the next slide, I want to go over a few logistics.
Repasaremos un poco de logísticas.
So the first is that all guests are muted and your cameras are turned off. This is for the purpose to encourage more participation and questions within the chat. So if you have a question, please write it in the Q&A box or the Zoom or the comments section on Facebook, and we will do our best to answer as many questions as possible.
Antes de comenzar, nos gustaría repasar algunas cuestiones logísticas. La primera es que todos los invitados están silenciados y las cámaras están apagadas. Si tiene alguna pregunta, por favor utilice el cuadro de preguntas y respuestas o el chat que se encuentra abajo de su pantalla, o también puede entregar preguntas por el Facebook Live. Tenemos moderadores conectados a sus preguntas y esta presentación será bilingüe y grabada.
So as for our community guidelines, we want to create a safe space for everyone. So this means respecting our speakers and treating others online as you would treat them in person. So please do not post any racist or prejudiced comments during the course of the webinar. We will not tolerate this kind of behavior and we hope to spread kindness, not hate.
Por último, queremos crear un espacio seguro donde nos respetemos mutuamente. También queremos crear un espacio seguro para todos. Eso significa que, por favor, respetar a los presentadores y tratarnos a todos como nos tratamos en persona. No publique comentarios racistas o prejuiciosos durante esta presentación. No toleraremos este tipo de comportamiento y la verdad que buscamos difundir amabilidad y no el odio.
Great. So we'll jump into the agenda on the next slide.
Repasaremos la agenda.
Today, we will be discussing a variety of topics, including why COVID-19 is a reproductive justice issue and how you can find credible information about COVID-19. We have also invited 2 nurses to speak about the status of COVID-19 and answer any questions from the audience.
Hoy repasaremos un poquito más de información sobre el COVID-19 y la justicia reproductiva. Daremos últimas noticias sobre la orden de quedarse en casa y tendremos 2 enfermeras que van a estar en línea para responder a cualquier pregunta que tengan sobre el COVID-19.
So for those of you who may not know, California Latinas for Reproductive Justice is a Latina-led organization in California committed to honoring the experiences of our Latina, Latino, Latinx communities to uphold our dignity, our bodies, sexuality, and families. We build power and cultivate leadership through community education, policy advocacy, and community-informed research to achieve reproductive justice.
California Latinas por Justicia Reproductiva es una organización dirigida por latinas en California, comprometida a honrar las experiencias de nuestras comunidades para defender nuestra dignidad, nuestros cuerpos, nuestra sexualidad y familias. Desarrollamos poder y cultivamos liderazgo a través de la educación comunitaria, la promoción de políticas y la investigación informada por la comunidad para lograr la justicia reproductiva.
If we move on to the next slides, we have CLRJ has 2 chapters, one in Los Angeles and one in San Diego. And so the goal of the L for RJ chapters is to build the next generation of Latina, Latinx RJ leaders in California who are passionate about advocating with, by, and for their own communities. And I just wanted to say that this Plática was planned by the San Diego and Los Angeles chapter leaders.
Los grupos de liderazgo de Latinas por Justicia Reproductiva, o L4RJ, es en las ciudades de Los Ángeles y San Diego. Reflejan el compromiso de CLRJ de desarrollar líderes de diversos orígenes y experiencias. El objetivo de estos grupos de Latinas por Justicia Reproductiva es construir la próxima generación de líderes de la justicia reproductiva en California, apasionadex de abogar con, por y para sus propias comunidades. Los grupos de liderazgo están abiertos a todas las latinas, latinx, no binarios, no conformes con el género, trans, genderqueer y cisgénero, de 18 a 35 años de edad y de todos los orígenes. Y nomás queremos también mencionar que esta plática fue coordinada por los grupos de líderes de Latinas for RJ.
That said, I'll pass it on to Anna to talk about COVID-19 and why it is a reproductive justice issue. Take it away, Anna.
Y con eso pasamos el micrófono a Ena Susas Valladares, que nos va a platicar un poquito más sobre qué es el COVID-19 y la conexión con justicia reproductiva.
Thank you, Janely. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ena Sused Valladares. I am the Director of Programs at California Latinas for Reproductive Justice, and I'm very happy to be here with you all.
Muy buenos días a todos. Mi nombre es Ena Sused Valladares. Soy la directora de programas en California Latinas por Justicia Reproductiva y estoy muy contenta para estar aquí hoy con ustedes a platicar un poquito más sobre qué es la justicia reproductiva.
And so to start, reproductive justice is a framework. It was coined by women of color, and it looks at the reproductive health, so services and reproductive rights, or laws, through a human rights and a social justice framework. We use an intersectional lens to understand the barriers our communities face that limit the choices we can make about our bodies, our families, and our communities' well-being.
Entonces, ¿qué es la justicia reproductiva? Creado por mujeres de color, la justicia reproductiva analiza la salud reproductiva, o sea, servicios, y los derechos reproductivos como leyes a través de un marco de derechos humanos y justicia social. Usamos un marco interseccional para comprender las barreras que enfrentan nuestras comunidades, que limitan nuestras opciones sobre el bienestar de nuestros cuerpos, familias y comunidades.
And so what does this mean? So in practice, reproductive justice, we divide it into about four different tenets. And so what we say is that we equally fight for bodily autonomy. So this means to live freely from violence. It means workers' protections. It also means being able to make fully informed and timely decisions. We also equally fight for the right to have a child. So that includes having access to prenatal care services, fertility services, and choosing our own birthing experience and who we would want present in those birthing experiences.
Entonces, ¿qué significa justicia reproductiva en una forma más concreta? La justicia reproductiva siempre decimos que hay unos valores íntegros de esta forma de pensar. La primera es la autonomía corporal, asegurarnos que tenemos la habilidad de vivir libre de violencia, que tengamos protecciones en el trabajo y que podamos tomar decisiones bien informadas y con tiempo. También significa que todos tengamos el derecho de tener un hijo si es lo que deseamos, que tengamos el cuidado prenatal, servicios de infertilidad, que podamos tomar nuestras propias decisiones de cómo vamos a parir y quiénes queremos que estén con nosotras mientras estemos dando a luz. El otro es el derecho de no tener un hijo, entonces esto, I'll pause.
And so the other two tenets are the right to have a child, and so, I'm sorry, the right not to have a child. And so that includes services like access to birth control and abortion. And then the last tenet is the right to parent our children in safe and healthy communities. And this is where we really look at, having access to stable and safe housing, having access to healthy foods. And then also, I'll pause.
Y los otros dos puntos que queremos hacer es que también igualmente luchamos por el derecho de no tener un hijo, y esto incluye acceso a servicios de planificación familiar y el aborto, y igual que tengamos el derecho de crear a nuestros hijos en comunidades seguras y saludables, que tengamos viviendas estables y seguras, y que tengamos acceso a comida saludable.
Mm-hmm. And so as you can see, when we talk about reproductive justice, it is a broad umbrella in which many intersectional issues are lifted up.
Y como pueden ver, justicia reproductiva es un marco un poco amplio que cubre muchas partes de que son importantes para nuestras comunidades, y es importante elevar estos temas también.
Okay. So next slide, please. So then, now we are going to make the connections of why COVID-19 is a reproductive justice issue. So what we've seen is that the RJ framework is essential, right, for addressing the inequitable gender, health, and social effects now being more exposed and exacerbated by COVID-19. So here are just a couple of examples that we wanted to pull to make those connections.
Y ahora vamos a hablar un poquito de cómo hacemos la conexión y por qué es importante hacer la conexión entre lo que está sucediendo ahorita con la pandemia del COVID-19, la justicia reproductiva. Y este marco de la justicia reproductiva es esencial para abordar los efectos de género, salud y sociales expuestas por el COVID-19. Aquí hay algunos ejemplos de cómo COVID-19 es un asunto de la justicia reproductiva, y ahorita vamos a repasarlos.
So we know that a lot of members of our communities are disproportionately impacted, and that includes women, young people, older people, LGBTQIA individuals, folks with disabilities, and Indigenous folks, amongst others. And this is particularly exacerbated if they are low income, immigrants, or undocumented, uninsured, or that live in rural communities.
Sabemos que muchas personas en nuestras comunidades son desproporcionadamente impactados, y esto incluye mujeres, personas mayores de edad, personas con discapacidades, personas indígenas en nuestras comunidades, y esto es importante discutir también.
Entonces, sorry. And so, and some of the, and so more concretely, some of the issues that we're concerned about, right, is the limited access to health services. And this includes reproductive and sexual health care due to reduced clinic hours or limited in-person visits, for example. We know that transportation barriers can be an issue, even if, you know, clinics are open, and so transportation services have been a bit interrupted. And we also know that you know, we're trying to limit exposure, right, on public transportation. This also is an issue on shortages of supplies and medicines, including birth control.
Esto, lo que estamos viendo mucho es que hay muchas barreras que nuestras comunidades están enfrentando, incluyendo al acceder a servicios médicos. Transportación ha sido una barrera también que ha impactado mucho a nuestra comunidad. Y todas estas son consecuencias del COVID-19, han impactado a muchos de los miembros de nuestras comunidades que ya tienen barreras para acceder a estos servicios que acabamos de mencionar.
Other examples, you know, we've talked about maternal health and how it could be a disruption of routine visits, especially if they are high-risk pregnancies or there's other concerns with the pregnancy. Postpartum care may also be impacted. In terms of domestic violence, for example, we know that social distancing and shelter-in-place orders are needed to combat the spread of the coronavirus. But we also know that that may have unintended consequences in trapping people in violent and abusive relationships.
También lo que estamos viendo mucho en el tema de violencia doméstica, sabemos que el distanciamiento social y las órdenes de quedarse en casa son necesarios para disminuir la transmisión del virus, pero también tienen consecuencias que atrapar a las personas en situaciones de
And then other issues real briefly we wanted to talk about is, you know, housing stability is a really big concern right now. So although there are some protections currently in place around eviction orders and moratoriums, we know that they haven't been enough to prevent community members from being harassed by landlords or evicted. And that is a concern, particularly if we have this order, right, to stay in place. And needless to say, we also have a lot of unhoused or homeless people that we should be thinking about. And the last example we wanted to connect in terms of COVID-19 and reproductive justice is worker rights and protections. We know that a lot of our community members are working in low wage sectors. And so this can include things like restaurants, hospitality and retail sectors, which we know that many have been closed. And so hours have been reduced or people have been laid off. But we also know that a lot of these sectors include jobs like healthcare workers, childcare, grocery store workers, janitorial workers, and delivery drivers. And so this is where we also see that a lot of our community members are at the forefront or on the front lines of this pandemic, and so are at a higher risk of contracting COVID-19. And the last thing we really wanted to elevate is oftentimes these jobs do not offer paid sick leave, health insurance, or hazard pay. And then for the folks who have lost their jobs, the concern is also that their insurance was connected to their jobs. And so now not only do they face the loss of income, but potentially the loss of insurance as well.
También lo que estamos viendo es la importancia de elevar los problemas de que nuestras comunidades tengan viviendas seguras. Aunque existen algunas protecciones, no son suficientes para evitar que miembros de la comunidad sean hostigados o desalojados. También lo que vemos mucho es los problemas de derechos y protecciones de los trabajadores. Los miembros de nuestra comunidad de bajos salarios, la mayoría de los cuales son mujeres de color, tienen más probabilidades de trabajar en los sectores de restaurantes, hostelería y comercio minorista, donde muchos han sido despedidos o se han reducido sus horas de trabajo, o en trabajos como trabajadores de la salud, cuidado de niños, trabajadores de supermercados, trabajadores de limpieza y conductores de reparto, donde pueden continuar trabajando, pero enfrentan un mayor riesgo de contractar el COVID-19. Y lo que estamos viendo es que es muy importante entender que estos trabajos a menudo no ofrecen seguro médico y pago de riesgos, Y también lo que estamos viendo mucho, una preocupación que tenemos es que para muchas personas su acceso a cuidado médico estaba conectado con sus trabajos, y cuando vemos que hay un alto nivel de desempleo, ¿qué pasa, verdad, con las personas que están perdiendo sus trabajos y al mismo tiempo perdiendo su seguro médico?
So to wrap up this section, we know that this pandemic has heightened many of the terrible health and economic inequities that many of our community members face and have been facing for generations. And so our call really at CLRJ and with our chapter leaders is to continue to fight to make sure that these services remain available, and that as much as possible, and that our communities have the support they need in order to both keep being healthy or be as healthy as possible and economically stable during this crisis and beyond.
Entonces, nomás para ya un resumen de esta sección de la presentación es que esta pandemia ha aumentado muchas de las terribles desigualdades económicas y de salud que las comunidades de color han enfrentado por generaciones. Debemos continuar luchando para asegurarnos de que estos servicios permanezcan disponibles y que nuestras comunidades tengan el apoyo que necesitan para estar saludables y económicamente estables durante esta crisis y en el futuro también.
Thank you. Next slide. And so I quickly just wanted to go over some updates on the stay-at-home order.
Queríamos solo repasar bien rápido un poquito las nuevas políticas sobre la orden de permanecer en casa.
So as of yesterday, Friday, we are slowly moving into what the governor has called stage 2.
A partir de este viernes 8 de mayo, entramos en lo que el gobernador está llamando etapa 2.
And so to quickly recap, in order to open up, or in order to ease the stay-at-home orders, the governor has identified 4 stages. So the first stage was really looking at safety and preparedness, and this was more ensuring that that workplaces that remained open for our essential workers were safe. So this included like supermarkets and pharmacies. And now stage 2, the stage that we're gradually moving into, is now looking at lower risk workplaces. And so this includes gradually opening up parks, some trails, some beaches, also looking at opening up more restaurants, bookstores, or coffee shops, but still just getting services on the curbside, so not going inside just yet. And then later in stage 2, we've been told that we'll be able to, when certain protections are in place, open up schools, childcare centers, and be able to relax a little bit more of the restrictions around being able to dine indoors, for example, in restaurants, being able to actually go into stores, into libraries, and into outdoor museums, for example.
Y lo que el gobernador acaba de anunciar en su plan, que es el propósito es para poder empezar a liberar un poco lo estricto de la orden para quedarse en casa. Y lo que vemos, la primera etapa era la seguridad y preparación, y esto incluía hacer seguros los lugares de trabajo para trabajadores esenciales, o sea, como los supermercados y farmacias. Y lo que ahora gradualmente estamos entrando en la etapa 2, que se enfoca en lugares de trabajo de bajo riesgo, que tenemos que seguir usando tapabocas y practicando distanciamiento social. Y esto incluye inicialmente abrir parques, más restaurantes, librerías, cafeterías y tiendas sin entrar. O sea, eso significa también como practicar más lo de curbside pickup, que es recoger sus productos afuera en la banqueta, en sus carros. Y más tarde están hablando de cómo avanzando en la etapa 2, poder empezar a pensar en abrir escuelas y en guarderías también.
And so the last, I'm not going to go through the other 2 stages. We have in the chat, we've included the resource and how you can get more information. And so there is stage 3. I just quickly wanted to recap. Stage 3 would be the higher risk workplaces that would open up. And then the last stage would be the end of the stay-at-home order. But we do want to emphasize that this is not going to happen really until there is a treatment or a vaccine in place in order for us to be able to keep as safe and healthy as possible.
Y solo para repasar bien rapidito las últimas 2 etapas, que aún todavía no estamos en estas etapas, incluye abrir lugares de trabajo de alto riesgo, que esto incluye salones de belleza, gimnasios, y la 4ª etapa, que sería al final de la orden de quedarse en casa, que no podemos lograr estas etapas hasta que tengamos una vacuna o algún tratamiento para el COVID-19, o sea que solamente queríamos elevar eso, la importancia de que todavía no estamos ahí, ¿verdad? Y todavía hay que tomar muchas precauciones en cuanto vayan a empezar a abrir más lugares que se consideran de bajo riesgo. Igual, otra vez, seguir usando tapabocas también.
And the next slide. And so the final thing that I just wanted to also provide as a resource is this is on the COVID-19ca.gov page, and this just kind of gives a bit of a update, right, as to where we're at with cases, and where in California we're mostly impacted. And so again, the coronavirus is still spreading, even though we are opening up, more businesses here in California or opening up certain sectors. And so we just want to emphasize again that, it's still a threat until we're able to find a treatment and vaccine. And so we just want all of us to be as safe and healthy as possible when venturing out, and continuing to practice social distancing, and then also continuing to use protective measures such as face masks.
Y esta página solamente queremos ofrecer este recurso que es de una página que está ahí, que pueden ver, que da un poquito más resumen de los casos ahorita que hay en California, y queremos elevar la importancia de asegurar que tomamos todas las precauciones posibles en cuanto vayamos a salir y en cuanto se abran un poquito más los negocios, y siempre acordarnos de usar tapabocas y de mantener el distanciamiento social. Va a ser muy crítico en estos momentos también.
Thank you. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Cynthia. She's going to be introducing some wonderful guest nurses, and they're going to talk a little bit more about COVID-19 and how to keep each other safe.
Muchas gracias. Ahora lo vamos a pasar a Cynthia, que nos va a ayudar con esta siguiente parte, que es con nuestras enfermeras, que nos van a ayudar a responder algunas preguntas.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cynthia Garcia. I am a member of Latinas for Reproductive Justice in the San Diego chapter. And I'm honored to introduce 3 nurses that we have with us. We have Adriana, we also have Bianca, and we have Maricruz. They're going to provide some initial information they think is important to share with us all.
Y muchas gracias. Hoy tenemos a 3 enfermeras, Adriana, Bianca y Maricruz, que nos van a ayudar a dar un poquito más información sobre el COVID-19.
First up, we have Bianca Morales Camino, and we have a quick bio placed in the chat box for her, but I just want to say that she's currently working as a registered nurse patient care supervisor for family medicine, also for internal medicine at Sharp Reese Steely Grossman.
Y pues estamos presentando a Adriana Rodarte Sánchez, que se graduó de...
Bianca Camino.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
You're okay.
Bianca Morales Camino, que se graduó de la Universidad Estatal de San Diego con su bachillerato en enfermería. Y también estudió psicología en el 2013. Recibió su maestría en ciencias en enfermería con un énfasis doble en negocios y educación en el 2018. Actualmente Bianca está trabajando como una enfermera registrada, supervisora de cuidado de pacientes para medicina familiar medicina internal, nefrología y cardiología en Sharp, Reese, Steele, Grossmont.
Thank you so much, Bianca, for taking the time to join us.
Hi.
The first question we have is, what is COVID-19?
La primera pregunta es, ¿qué es el COVID-19?
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. So just to start off, COVID-19 is a type of coronavirus. And just so that everyone knows, within our population, we have been exposed to many different types of coronaviruses, such as the common cold. So when you get a small little virus and you think you need antibiotics, it's actually a coronavirus. It's just a different type. This one here, particularly, it's brand new, and it's distinguished as a novel coronavirus because it did transfer from an animal, which they're thinking was a bat, in Wuhan, China, and then it transferred into the human population. If you're wondering how that happens, there are things basically have to line up the way it would originally for viruses, so they need to find a susceptible host. And then it just kind of takes over and that virus reproduces in the person, and then you can spread it once you become ill or once you start to develop, once that virus starts to take over.
Y pues la respuesta es que el coronavirus es un virus nuevo que generalmente antes cuando uno siente la gripe es también un tipo de virus, pero este es diferente, este es nuevo. Y cuando uno está expuesto a otros, este es un nuevo tipo. Fue propagado de Wuhan, China, y el origen es en los murciélagos. Y pues primero cuando están los murciélagos tienen que encontrar un host que le llaman o alguien que reciba el virus y eventualmente se pasó a los humanos.
Okay, and the next question we have is, what makes it different from other viruses in particular?
So this virus, because it is brand new, our bodies don't have a way to fight off, and we don't have basically antibodies. Sometimes we're able to get those antibodies, for example, just through exposure or through also breast milk. If you ever did receive breast milk, sometimes your mother can pass on those antibodies to you, but because this virus is brand new, we don't have any way to fight it. It can be pretty detrimental to those that are immune compromised or don't have a way, or don't have a way to fight and have an altered immunity.
Y pues este es diferente porque no tenemos anticuerpos para este virus porque es nuevo. Para otros virus sí hemos sido expuestos antes como humano, por ejemplo, con los anticuerpos o leche del pecho con nuestras madres, ayuda para combatirlo. Pero ahora es diferente porque especialmente para la gente que es más susceptible, su sistema inmunológico, no tienen esos anticuerpos como con otros virus.
Okay, and the third question we have is, why antibiotics aren't necessarily helpful?
So antibiotics are used for bacteria. So if you have a bacterial infection, then that would help. But specifically for viruses, when you take an antibiotic, it basically won't do anything to help you fight or combat against that virus. Sometimes if you have been exposed to someone who has had coronavirus and tested positive, they might give antibiotics, but it is because of a secondary infection. It's not to treat the primary infection, which is the coronavirus. So just in case anyone comes across that, it is really important to know that you're treating the secondary infection and not coronavirus itself.
Y están preguntando por qué los antibióticos no funcionan. Los antibióticos no son hechos para pelear contra los virus, solo son usados para infecciones bacteriales y el COVID-19 es causado por un virus, así que los antibióticos no funcionan. Solo se deben de usar los antibióticos como prevención o para ayudar con infecciones secundarias de complicaciones por el virus y solo deben de ser usados por los doctores para tratar una infección bacterial.
Okay, and the next question is, what are some of the symptoms of COVID-19? And also, what are some of the new symptoms the CDC has noted?
The symptoms that originated first with COVID-19 were that everyone was looking for in healthcare and just in the population in general were fever, a sore throat, or let's see, it was a fever, sore throat, dry cough. So a dry cough as well, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing. Those were the main symptoms that we were looking for. Family medicine, we got a lot of phone calls and realized that there were other symptoms associated with COVID-19 as well, which originally ended up coming out through the CDC. And those have now expanded to chills, muscle pain, new loss of taste and smell. So that one we heard a lot. And in the beginning, people were like, no, that's not associated with it. But sure enough, it definitely did become a part of it. And for children, the symptoms are basically the same, but they can be mild if the child is healthy.
Y pues la pregunta es que cuáles son los síntomas del COVID-19 y se veía que los síntomas principales eran fiebre, dolor de garganta y también una tos seca, pero empezaron a recibir más llamadas con nuevos síntomas y aunque al principio no se hacía la conexión, ya también el CDC ha estado de acuerdo que también los síntomas incluyen escalofríos, dolor muscular, pérdida de la sensación de olor y el sabor. Y en los niños se ven los síntomas similares, pero más levemente si los niños están saludables.
Okay, and the second to last question is, what populations are vulnerable to the virus?
So as mentioned before, anyone who is immune compromised, specifically our older generation, anyone 65 and up would be vulnerable to this virus. If you have any family members who are in nursing homes or long-term care facilities, and then all ages of people with underlying conditions. So as I mentioned before, the kiddos also would fall into this category. So anyone with chronic lung disease, underlying conditions of asthma, any serious heart conditions, immune compromise. So if you're receiving cancer treatment, if you smoke, that also makes you a vulnerable population. Bone marrow transplant, organ transplant, any immune deficiencies that you may have, poorly controlled HIV or AIDS, also diabetes, chronic kidney disease, or if you're receiving dialysis, and also liver disease and severe obesity.
Y pues se preguntan que qué miembros o qué grupos de nuestra comunidad son más vulnerables al virus. Y pues se ve que personas de la tercera edad, de 65 años o más, son más vulnerables. También las personas que están viviendo en asilos o centros de cuidados de largo plazo. También personas con condiciones subyacentes de todas edades, particularmente las siguientes enfermedades si no están bien controladas. Por ejemplo, enfermedad pulmonar crónica, asma moderada a severa, también condiciones del corazón serias, sistema inmunológico comprometido, o gentes que están pasando por tratamiento de cáncer, personas que fuman o que están pasando por trasplantes de médula ósea o de otros órganos. También con sistema inmunológico deficiente, VIH o SIDA no controlado, personas con obesidad severa, con diabetes, enfermedad de riñón crónica o enfermedad del hígado.
Okay, and the last question we have is, how can these vulnerable populations be taken care of?
So if you or, oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
La próxima pregunta es, ¿cómo podemos cuidar de estos miembros de la comunidad?
Sorry, I got excited. I wanted to answer. So if you or a family member is part of this vulnerable population, ask for help. That's what I would say. You want to make sure you're limiting your exposure to the public as much as possible. So you can try to either ask for someone to try to help you stock up on medical supplies or household supplies just to limit your exposure of going out to the stores. If you do have to go out to the stores because you are limited in who you can help or going out to the stores, you want to make sure to stay 6 feet away from others and know that you have a right to advocate for yourself. So if someone comes within that 6 feet distance, you can ask them to please step away. And they don't need to know why. That's your right to ask them to please step away. Keep away from those that are sick. So if someone is sick, just ask them again to please step away for your safety as well. Limit close contact. Wash your hands as much as possible when you're going out. I think one of the other nurses will talk about this, but when you go out to the stores, don't wear gloves because you are going to cross-contaminate. If you're wearing gloves, you're touching produce, and then you're touching your phone, you're touching your wallet. All of that is just cross-contaminating. So try to just wash your hands as much as possible. Avoid crowds. If your doctor gave you a plan for your healthcare for any type of compromised immunity that you have, please follow that. Eat well and get plenty of sleep, and then disinfect areas in your home that are touched frequently, such as doorknobs, specifically your car handles. So if you're driving and you're touching your disinfect that as well.
Y pues la manera que podemos cuidar a estos grupos, o si usted o un miembro de la familia está comprometido o más vulnerable, pida ayuda. Es importante limitar el tiempo que está expuesto al público y pues tratar de almacenar suministros médicos o de casa si es posible. También si tienen que salir, que evitan estar más de 6 pies de cerca a las personas y mantenerse alejados de esas personas que se ven que tienen síntomas o que están enfermas. Si alguien se le acerca, tiene el derecho a defenderse, abogar por sí mismo y decir que quiere mantenerse alejado y no tiene que explicar por qué. También limite el contacto cercano a la gente, lávese las manos. Creo que una enfermera iba a mencionar también que no recomiendan usar guantes porque uno no tiene mucho cuidado a lo que tocan y la contaminación nomás se cruza a diferentes partes. También es importante evitar lugares con muchas personas, por ejemplo, viajar por cruceros o hacer viajes no esenciales. También seguir las precauciones o el cuidado de salud de sus doctores, especialmente si tienen sistemas inmunológicos comprometidos. Y pues para ayudar con el sistema inmunológico, también comer muy bien y descansar, dormir lo suficiente y seguir desinfectando áreas en su hogar que toca frecuentemente, como las perillas de las puertas, los controles, las mesas, los interruptores de la luz, las tazas del baño, las llaves de agua y los lavabos.
Thank you so much, Bianca. Bianca will be joining us on the second part for the questions and answers part.
Y ahora Bianca se va a reunir para la segunda parte de preguntas y respuestas.
Now we are having Maricruz Meras, who graduated from SDSU in May 2019 and is currently working as a registered nurse in Santa Barbara County, working night shifts at a small hospital near her home. She lives in Solvang, also known as the Danish town. Thank you so much, Mari, for taking the time and joining us for this Plática.
Y ahora se reúne Maricruz Meras, que se graduó de la Universidad Estatal de San Diego en mayo del 2019 y trabaja como enfermera registrada. Y si quieren ver toda la biografía, está en el chat.
The first question we have for you, Mari, is why is social distancing important? And how does this fit into the new order that is being placed in California with everything that's slowly opening back up?
Y la pregunta es, ¿por qué el distanciamiento social es importante y cómo va esto con la nueva orden de California que se está tomando en lugar?
Okay. Hi, everyone. So social distancing is important because it reduces the risk of exposure between people. Some people might have the virus without actually showing any of the signs or symptoms of it. and they can easily spread it to other people that way. Keeping a distance from others helps to not breathe in or touch anything that a person might have coughed on, since droplets can stay on surfaces for a long time. And with the new orders of like different places opening it up, it's just really important to keep your distance, especially if more people are going to be going out to places. Yeah, it's just super important to keep being careful and keep your distance from other people.
Y pues la respuesta es que es importante mantener ese distanciamiento para disminuir el riesgo a contraer el virus, especialmente porque una persona puede tener el virus sin demostrar síntomas, y es importante mantener la distancia para no respirar las microgotitas del aire o tocar superficies que tengan el virus también. Y pues con la nueva orden que sale, es importante mantener la distancia porque más personas van a estar saliendo y es importante seguir con el distanciamiento.
Okay, and Mari, the second question is, what are some safe practices for social distancing?
Y la pregunta es, ¿cuáles son algunas prácticas seguras para el distanciamiento social?
Some safe practices include leaving the house only when absolutely necessary, and then wearing a mask if you do need to go out in public, avoiding crowds, close contact, and maintaining 6 feet apart from others, washing your hands frequently, and then disinfecting items you use on a regular basis. Like it was said earlier, some people believe that using gloves in stores is safe, but that just increases cross-contamination between items like your phone and your face and whatever things you touch in the store. So it's better to just be more aware of what you touch and just keeping your hands washed and clean.
Y pues algunas prácticas seguras son solo salir de casa cuando es absolutamente necesario, usar una mascarilla cuando tengan que salir, seguir evitando lugares con muchas personas, seguir lavándose las manos y desinfectar áreas que se tocan muy seguido en la casa. También a veces la gente usa guantes cuando van a comprar comida, pero eso no es recomendado porque nomás se cruza la contaminación entre el teléfono, la cara, y es mejor seguir lavándose las manos y ser consciente de lo que tocan.
And then the last question is, how can you basically practice social distancing if you're also sharing spaces? So for example, living with other family members, in particular those that still have to go out and work every day.
Y pues la pregunta es, ¿cómo se puede practicar el distanciamiento social si se comparten espacios, por ejemplo, viviendo con miembros de familia, especialmente cuando tienen que seguir trabajando?
If someone has to leave for work, just try changing out of your clothes before entering the household or as soon as possible. Try to limit physical contact, such as hugging and kissing. Something extremely helpful would be having a plan ready just in case someone were to get sick or experience signs and symptoms. This includes having a separate area in the house they would stay in to limit the exposure to other people. You would come up with a plan on how that person would get their meals and medicine and other necessary items.
Pues sería importante, si uno tiene que salir a trabajar, cuando regresen a casa, quitarse la ropa para lavarla lo antes posible. También limitar los abrazos y los besos entre familiares. También sería buena idea tener un plan listo por si alguien sí tiene el virus o si se enferma, mantener una área separada para limitar que las otras personas sean expuestas, y también tener un plan para cómo esa persona va a conseguir sus medicamentos y alimentos.
Okay, thank you so much, Mari, for joining us. Now we're
you.
going to hear from Adriana Rodarte Sánchez.
Gracias, Mari, por reunirte. Ahora vamos a escuchar de Adriana, y su información está también en el chat.
Adriana graduated from SDSU in 2016 with a Bachelor's of Science in Child Family Development and a minor in Counseling and Social Change. She went on to pursue an Associate of Science degree in Nursing at Rio Hondo College and is now currently finishing up her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing at Concordia University, Irvine. She currently lives in Colton, California, where she is working as a registered nurse, medical services coordinator for a live stream blood bank. Adriana, we're truly happy to have you on, and thank you for joining us for the Plática.
Thank you for having me.
Adriana Rodarte Sánchez se graduó de la Universidad Estatal de San Diego en el 2016 con su licenciatura en Desarrollo Infantil con especialización en Consejería y Cambio Social, y también pueden leer el resto de su información en el chat. Y Adriana, estamos contentos de tenerte aquí.
So Adriana, the first question we have for you is, where can we access information that is valid and credible?
I think this question is so important because right now there is just a plethora of information that is being spread across various platforms, social media, in the news, word of mouth that you're hearing at the store. I've had conversations with people just standing in line for groceries, and it's a little overwhelming, but it's really important to know where to go as well. So some of the places where I believe it would be recommended for people to access credible and reliable information regarding the coronavirus would be, first and foremost, the CDC website, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. This has really important information about the virus, how it spreads, some symptoms that you should be aware of, which I know Bianca talked about a little earlier in the chat, as well as statistics in regards to the world. So what are the statistics in terms of active cases of coronavirus, suspected cases of coronavirus, and tolls that they're keeping tabs on the daily. Some other websites would also include the World Health Organization website, which has very similar information as the CDC website, as well as your local county website. So the San Diego County of Public Health, or the Department of Public Health for the County of San Diego, as well as the Department of Public Health for Los Angeles counties, because these can provide local resources for your areas and your specific cities, as well as where you may be able to get testing if you are experiencing symptoms, or other information in regards to different stay-at-home orders for your areas.
Y pues es importante saber dónde encontrar información con credibilidad. Por ejemplo, que hay muchos lugares ahorita donde se puede conseguir información, especialmente saliendo a comprar comida, hay gente que está compartiendo información, y unos lugares donde pueden conseguir información pues con investigación y creíble es el website, la página de internet del CDC, el Centro de Enfermedades y Control. Ahí pueden ver los síntomas de COVID-19, información sobre prevención. Igual pueden ver estadísticas mundiales sobre casos activos o casos que se sospechan. También diferentes números que se actualizan diariamente. Otra página de internet sería el del WHO, que es la Organización Mundial de la Salud. Ahí pueden encontrar información similar a la del CDC, pero también pueden encontrar sus páginas de internet de departamentos de salud locales, tal como de San Diego y Los Ángeles. Y también pueden ver información sobre dónde pueden ir a obtener una prueba, y otra información como las órdenes de mantenerse en casa.
And the next question is, how can you boost your immune system?
La próxima pregunta es, ¿cómo podemos fortalecer nuestro sistema inmunológico?
So some of the things that individuals can start doing, or maybe they already have been doing to help support a really healthy immune system, is diet and exercise. That's really important. That helps prepare your body and keep your body healthy through all different types of illnesses, not just the coronavirus. With that, eating plenty of fruits and vegetables and making sure that you're consuming really large amounts of water, just to make sure that you are getting your daily consumption of those things. And also, if you are a smoker or you do drink alcohol occasionally, This is definitely something you want to try to limit. It's in moderation. Smoking definitely, because it can put you at risk for a lot of other health issues that can then lower your immune system or make you immunocompromised, but alcohol as well. In moderation, not going to tell you not to do it, but definitely trying to limit that is something that you should try to keep you healthy. Also minimizing stress, which I know is very difficult during this crazy time, but stress can actually lower your immune system as well and make you more susceptible to contracting different illnesses. So the more you can do to help keep your body healthy in that aspect is definitely something of utmost importance. Also making sure that you're washing your hands regularly. Hand sanitizer is good if you don't have access to a sink or soap and water to be able to wash your hands, but doing so definitely helps to maintain a healthy environment for yourself and the others around you. And if you are still working, or even if you're staying at home, making sure that you're keeping your areas clean, disinfecting and sanitizing on the daily to try to make sure that any bacteria or any germs or any virus that does come home with you is killed at the door.
Y pues diferentes maneras de fortalecer nuestro sistema inmunológico, no nomás para este virus, sino en general, es pues mantener una dieta saludable, hacer ejercicio frecuentemente, también que ver lo que comemos como frutas, vegetales, tomar suficiente agua, también tenemos que ver nuestra consumición o qué tan seguido tomamos agua. Si las personas fuman o toman alcohol, es importante limitar. Dice que no necesariamente cortarlo para todo, no les va a decir que no fume, pero sí afecta para nuestro sistema inmunológico y tener otras complicaciones de salud. Así que eso ayudaría mucho a limitar el alcohol y fumar. También es importante disminuir el estrés, porque el estrés puede disminuir nuestro sistema inmunológico. Lavarse las manos regularmente. Si no tiene jabón y agua, por ejemplo, en el trabajo, pueden usar desinfectante basado en alcohol. Y pues importante que cuando lleguen a casa, mantener todo limpiado para que ese virus se mantenga afuera y no entre a la casa.
Okay, and then I just want to let everyone know that's signed on. We are going to go a little bit over time. The next couple of sections are going to be just questions and answers, and then also covering a lot of the resources. So we do apologize that we're going over time, but we do find all this information that we're sharing with you is valuable.
Y que quería avisar a las personas que se están metiendo ahorita que sí, vamos a pasarnos un poco del tiempo, pero vamos a tener preguntas y respuestas y recursos que son importantes.
And Adriana, the next question that we have is, what are some of the home remedies that are effective? We've heard something along the lines of drinking hot tea and honey or adding something like that to your everyday beverage.
Está preguntando que qué remedios caseros son efectivos. ¿Han oído cosas como tés calientes o incluir miel ayuda para pelear contra el virus?
So first, I would just like to point out that none of these remedies are necessarily going to keep you from contracting the coronavirus. These are just remedies where if you are experiencing any mild symptoms that you can try to perform some of these to help alleviate those symptoms. So for example, if you do have a sore throat, which is one of the classic symptoms of coronavirus, drinking hot tea with lemon or with honey can definitely help soothe that sore throat. But again, it's not going to be able to necessarily prevent the coronavirus. But one thing that's definitely really important for the body if you are experiencing any symptoms of coronavirus or you have been diagnosed with coronavirus and are staying at home to heal is just good old-fashioned rest and relaxation. It's really important for your body to not only get enough rest but also to get enough sleep to allow your body to regenerate and to recover from the illness. Also, some things would be to just, again, make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Allowing your body to have a lot of water helps the tissues to repair and restore themselves. If you are experiencing any cough or any some shortness of breath that is manageable, deep breathing exercises for those of you that meditate, it would be something very similar to what you would normally be doing if you're in a really healthy and calming environment, to just take some really deep breaths to allow the tissues of your lungs to get increased oxygenation. If you are going to take any medications, I would recommend that you speak to your primary care provider first or a health professional who is guiding you through these symptoms. But some things that you might be able to take that you can get over the counter would be Tylenol for either body aches and pains as well as mild fevers. I would not take ibuprofen. Research has shown that ibuprofen can actually exacerbate the symptoms of the coronavirus, but again, speak to your primary care or a healthcare provider. Also taking vitamins that include vitamin C or zinc. Zinc is said to have very mild antiviral properties, which can help with the coronavirus, but it won't cure it. It will not prevent it necessarily. It will just help to boost your antiviral capability, as well as vitamin C for supportive immune function and protection.
Y pues diferentes cosas que pueden hacer. O sea, diferentes remedios caseros no van a ayudar a pelear contra el virus, pero sí puede ayudar con algunos síntomas leves. Por ejemplo, un síntoma que es un dolor de garganta. Si toman té con miel o limón, puede ayudar con ese síntoma, pero lo importante para su cuerpo sería mantenerse en casa para sanarse, tener suficiente tiempo para relajarse y que duerman lo suficiente para recuperarse. También seguir tomando suficiente agua, porque eso ayuda a los tejidos del cuerpo a repararse. También si sienten síntomas como tos o dificultades para respirar, ayuda mucho a respirar profundamente. Por ejemplo, la gente que medita, eso también puede ayudar. También ayuda con los tejidos de los pulmones para que obtengan más oxígeno. Si están tomando medicamento, es importante hablar con su doctor, especialmente si les están ayudando con alguna otra enfermedad o los síntomas. Que Tylenol es algo que sí se puede tomar para los dolores musculares o fiebre, pero no se recomienda que tomen ibuprofen porque se ha demostrado por pruebas que empeora los síntomas del COVID-19. También vitaminas como vitamina C y el zinc se ha demostrado que ayuda para incrementar o fortalecer el sistema inmunológico.
Okay, and lastly, the last question that we have, we know it's a very popular one between everyone right now, but is the virus really in the air?
So research that has been provided does say that COVID particles can survive up in the air for approximately 3 hours. And there's also other research that says that how long it survives depends on a few factors, such as humidity and temperature in the surrounding area. So that is why it's really critical for you to wear a mask when you are out, not necessarily when you're driving in a car, but when you are in an environment where there's larger amounts of people. Because if someone sneezes and they do have the virus but are unaware of it, those particles from that aerosolized sneeze can survive in the surrounding areas. So the research is still up and coming with this, but I would say that it does support that it is a virus that can survive in the air. So that's why it's critical for you to make sure you're taking care of your bodies by wearing a mask and keeping your social distance from anyone who is around you.
Y pues la otra pregunta que es muy popular ahorita es, ¿el virus sí realmente está en el aire? Y pues explica que el virus COVID-19 puede mantenerse en el aire por 3 horas con las microgotitas, y esto también depende en la humedad y temperatura del ambiente del área, pero por eso es muy importante que sigan usando su máscara y que sigan con el distanciamiento social y que eviten lugares con muchas personas. Por ejemplo, si alguien tiene el virus, aunque no demuestre síntomas y estornuda en un lugar, entonces eso se queda en el aire por 3 horas. Que siguen con las investigaciones, pero por eso es importante seguir con las precauciones como la máscara y el distanciamiento social.
Okay, thank you so much, Adriana, for providing all these helpful answers. Now we are going to move to our section for questions and answers.
Y queremos darle las gracias a Adriana por ayudarnos con estas preguntas y respuestas y darnos tanta información tan importante.
So next slide. So for the questions and answers part, feel free to put all your questions in the Q&A chat. We will be working together to answer all of them. So far, we do have a couple. So for the nurses, Adriana, Maricruz, and Bianca, feel free for whoever feels comfortable answering the following questions.
Vamos a tener una sección ahorita de preguntas y respuestas. Por favor, pongan sus preguntas en el chat y vamos a trabajar en contestarlas. Y ahorita, pues, Adriana, Maricruz y Bianca van a responderlas.
Okay, so the first question for Adriana, Maricruz, and Bianca, is it safe to visit family members during this time?
La pregunta es si es seguro visitar a miembros de familia durante este tiempo.
I can take that question. So it's definitely not safe at this time to visit family members. They are recommending to only be with the people that are in your household. So if you do want to visit a family member, I would recommend just following the proper guidelines. You can drive by. You can, lower your windows, say hi from the car, or stay in your car, and they can be at the door. Maintain that 6 feet distance. I know with my parents, you guys, I'm having withdrawals. I FaceTime with them almost every day, so that's another option. If you don't have an iPhone, you can use Facebook Messenger. You can use Instagram, whatever it is that you can do to connect with your family. Calls are amazing, but if you can get through a video, that connects you even more, because I know right now it's a very difficult time. But please, I know as much as you want to, please do not visit family at this time, as if someone is sick, it's going to spread in your family and you don't want that to happen.
Y pues la respuesta es que ahorita pues no es el momento para visitar a miembros de la familia, que se recomienda que solo estén con la familia con la que viven actualmente. Y si quieren visitar a familias y los extrañan mucho, se recomienda que pasen por el carro y los saluden o saluden de afuera de la cerca, que mantengan esa distancia de 6 pies y que pues ella también está batallando ahorita, extraña mucho a sus padres, pero que es bueno usar llamadas, pero también llamadas por video ayudan mucho más a tener esa conexión. Pueden usar Instagram o FaceTime, diferentes aplicaciones que hay ya. Y pues es un momento difícil, pero es importante que mantengan esa distancia y por favor no visiten a miembros de su familia, porque si uno está enfermo o tiene el virus, lo pueden pasar a todos los demás.
And now the next question is, if you must and if you have a need to visit family members where you're the only person providing food or medication, something along those lines, what are some safe ways that you can visit family?
La pregunta es si deben de visitar a miembros de la familia, porque, por ejemplo, si usted es el único que le proviene ese alimento o medicamentos, ¿qué precauciones pueden tomar para ir seguramente?
I can take that one. So similar to what Bianca mentioned, the issue is not necessarily you driving by to physically see your family members. It's really when you're coming into close distances and quarters with them. So if you are a primary provider for, let's say, your parents, it's not unsafe for you to gather their medications or buy their groceries and leave them at the door, but keep your distance from the actual person. What I would recommend if you are going to be doing that is that whoever is going to be retrieving those medications, if you're passing them along to your parents, that they make sure that they're clean. A lot of research also shows that when you are grocery shopping, you should actually be wiping down all of your groceries, letting them essentially killing off all of the things that are on lane, because think about it, different people are touching different things at the grocery stores, and unfortunately you just don't know where anybody's hands have been. So if you will be doing that, then making sure that your parents or whoever it is that you're providing those resources for are making sure that they're keeping their environments clean and wiping off anything that is brought to them from outside.
Y pues la respuesta es que similarmente a lo que se mencionó antes, que el problema no es pasar por afuera, sino si se acercan mucho a los miembros de la familia, que está bien si esa persona que provee los medicamentos o alimentos pasen y los dejen afuera, y se recomienda que la persona que reciba esos alimentos y medicamentos los desinfecte bien, por ejemplo, como se recomienda con todo lo que compran de comida, que se desinfecte para que no tenga virus, que no lo dejen entrar a la casa. Y pues sí, prácticamente como muchas personas están tocando todas esas cosas de la tienda, es importante limpiarlos antes de que entren a la casa.
Okay, thank you. And we have 2 more questions before we move on to our second part, which is just all the resources that we can offer the community.
Y tenemos 2 más preguntas y pues también los recursos que podemos proveer a la comunidad.
So the other question is, what is recommended for you to do in order to take precautions in a building that doesn't necessarily have windows?
Y la pregunta es, ¿qué precauciones uno puede tomar si está en un edificio que no tenga ventanas?
So I can take this one as well. So it would be very similar to any of your other precautions that you would normally take in other environments. I know I myself work in an office space. There are windows, but the windows don't open, so there's no way to get any fresh air or to get any type of air moving throughout the facility. So making sure that you're keeping a distance from your coworkers or whoever is in the building with you, wearing masks as well. I know my coworkers and we do disinfect all of our workspaces at the end of the day because it's hard to keep your distance. Sometimes you need to go in and ask a couple of questions or just clarify some information, but making sure that you're still following the standard precautions, washing your hands frequently, making sure that you are wearing your mask if you're going to be exiting your office and you're outside of your own work environment, and that you're keeping a cleanly environment for everybody that's working in that same area as you. I hope that answers that question.
Y pues la respuesta es que similarmente a otras personas, otras precauciones, que ella, por ejemplo, trabaja en una oficina que tiene ventanas pero no abren, así que las medidas que están tomando es mantener esa distancia entre otras personas del trabajo, seguir usando la máscara, especialmente cuando salen del área individual de trabajo, desinfectar el espacio de trabajo al final del día, seguir lavándose las manos frecuentemente y pues tomar las precauciones que se harían en otros ambientes.
Okay, and the last question is Tylenol recommended over Advil or Advil recommended over Tylenol?
La última pregunta es que si se recomienda más el Tylenol más que el Advil o el Advil más que el Tylenol.
So it would be Tylenol over Advil. So Tylenol and Advil are 2 different types of medications. Not to get too scientific, but one is acetaminophen, which would be the Tylenol, and Advil is ibuprofen. So if you do need to take anything to help with a fever, to reduce the fever, or to alleviate some of the aches and pains that you may be experiencing with the coronavirus, Tylenol would be preferable. But again, definitely reaching out to a primary care provider or a nurse's hotline just to get a better recommendation and confirmation would be ideal, because we are obviously unaware of people's allergies. We're not aware of the different effects that these medications can have on people. Even though they are things that can be bought over the counter, it would definitely be worthwhile to reach out to a primary care provider first.
And I did type in the name, so even when you're out shopping, if you can just look for that specifically in the ingredients, because there are so many different brands. So just look for acetaminophen, that's all you want to look for. You can buy the generic one, it doesn't matter, as long as it's acetaminophen, that's all you want.
Y pues la respuesta es que pues, el acetaminofén sería el Tylenol y ese es el que se recomienda. El Advil es otro medicamento completamente diferente, que es el ibuprofen, que el Tylenol o acetaminofén se puede usar para ayudar con los síntomas como fiebre o aliviar los dolores musculares. Pero también igual es importante hablar con su doctor o a donde vaya para recibir estos cuidados, porque pues ellas no conocen sus alergias o los síntomas que pueden tener debido a otras complicaciones, aunque estas dosis se pueden conseguir sin receta médica. Y lo que pueden hacer también es ver el nombre, porque no tiene que ser Tylenol, puede ser el medicamento general con que diga acetaminofén en la información atrás.
And thank you so much, Adriana, Bianca, and Maricruz for joining us in this and providing all this valuable information. Thank you.
Y pues
And-
gracias. Thank you for la invitación.
And now we'll be switching over for Irene Lara, who will be presenting on a couple of information.
Y ahora vamos a pasar la presentación a Irene Lara, que va a compartir información.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Irene, and I am a Latinas for Reproductive Justice San Diego chapter member and a professor at San Diego State. And I'm speaking with you to give you the resource, or to share with you the resource on developing critical media literacy.
Y pues Irene Lara es una miembro del capítulo de San Diego de Latinas de California de Justicia Reproductiva, y es una profesora en la Universidad Estatal de San Diego, y va a compartir con nosotros información sobre comprensión de los medios.
Next slide. So as we experience this pandemic, we're also experiencing an infodemic, what the World Health Organization defines as an overabundance of information, some accurate and some not. And this makes it really hard for people to find trustworthy resources and reliable guidance when they need it.
Y pues que mientras vivimos por esta pandemia, también estamos viviendo por una infodemia, que se define como una sobreabundancia de información, alguna precisa y otra no, que hace difícil encontrar fuentes y guía de confianza cuando se necesita.
Next slide. So as critical media scholars emphasize the rise of technology and social media as a popular source of information, makes it really hard to do this. The, quote, increase in fake news, alternative facts, internet robots or bots, and trolls really challenge our abilities to judge credibility and recognize bias. And so it's really important for us then to practice being critical readers of the media that we're consuming. Critical media literacy is defined as learning how to take a skeptical and critical approach to more deeply understanding the meanings behind the messages we see and information we receive via media.
Y pues es importante que entendamos esto de comprensión crítica de los medios, porque especialmente ahorita se está compartiendo mucha información como noticias falsas o páginas que propagan información falsa, y es importante porque la comprensión crítica de los medios se define como aprender a comprender más profundamente los significados detrás de los mensajes que vemos y la información que recibimos por los diferentes medios de comunicación.
So we can begin by practicing by asking, well, who created this message, and like, what's the motivation behind the message? Next slide. National Public Radio News actually created a really great podcast and cat cartoon to help us spot misinformation, specifically in the context of the pandemic. And I wanted to share a few panels from it here, but encourage you to look it up as a resource, and it will be on the chat room for you to follow up on. But it begins by noting that viral rumors tend to spike during large news events, and the people spreading the misinformation can be motivated by all of these four things, right? So one, self-interest, because, for example, it spreads their political beliefs. Number two, malicious intent, like creating fear and conflict among people. Three, financial gain. Maybe they make money on getting more clicks or followers on their social media. And four, also genuine altruism, So maybe you hear about one of these home remedies, a remedio, and you're moved to share it with others because you want others to benefit from it, although not realizing you're spreading misinformation. Next.
Y pues las preguntas también que debemos hacernos es ¿quién creó el mensaje que se está compartiendo y qué motivación tienen? ¿Quiere presentar esta infográfica que explica cómo se propaga esta información? Explica aquí que los rumores virales tienen tendencia a subir más durante eventos de noticias grandes y se propagan por diferentes factores. Por ejemplo, una motivación puede ser autointerés, puede ser político también, puede ser intención maliciosa, ganancia financiera. A lo mejor alguien está haciendo dinero con esta información que están propagando. O también la última, altruismo genuino. A lo mejor alguien sí cree que ayuda a un remedio casero y están compartiendo esa información para ayudar cuando en realidad no ha sido comprobado.
Next slide. So misinformation, it's important to note again that it happens intentionally and unintentionally by all kinds of folks, some with malicious intent, but also without that malicious intent. So our Facebook's friends spread misinformation, right? We spread it, and it causes these feelings of confusion and uncertainty, fear, but dangerously it can give us false hope, and that can impact our actions, right, with life and death consequences. For example, it can lead us to ignore public health recommendations, all the things that the nurses just talked about that are being recommended.
Y pues esta información que se comparte puede ser intencionalmente o no intencionalmente, y pues personas que creen en teorías de conspiración, por ejemplo, se puede compartir por Facebook o otras páginas de redes sociales o por nosotros mismos, y pues son cosas que pueden tener consecuencias de vida o muerte porque pueden causar que gente ignore las recomendaciones de salud pública.
And just to skip the next slide and show the last slide, this is the cartoon that I recommend you look up, but just to save time, we're going to skip it. And the last slide are credible sites that verify information and just debunk misinformation. The sites that the nurses mentioned, CDC, World Health Organization, California Public Health Department. They also have all these sites in Spanish. La AFP, the AFP, an internationally recognized news organization, have fact checks, and all of these are focusing on debunking rumors related to coronavirus that I recommend. Thank you.
Y pues se pasó la caricatura, pero les recomienda que la vean. Y esta página demuestra diferentes páginas de internet que pueden visitar para obtener información pues comprobada. Por ejemplo, el CDC está aquí, la página de la Organización de Salud Mundial. También la AFP ha sido una fuente de noticias reconocida que se aleja o comprueba cuando los rumores son falsos del COVID-19.
Thank you, and I will turn it over to Janelli for our closing.
Ahora lo pasamos a Janelli para el final de la presentación.
Hi everyone. So we just wanted to share some resources. We know that this is a stressful time, and so we wanted to be able to combine a set of resources for everyone to take care of their physical as well as their mental health. And so if you are seeking to get more information or more resources, please visit our website. You will be able to find a link there under the resources tab that's specified for COVID-19 specifically.
Y que pues queremos compartir diferentes recursos porque sabemos que este es un tiempo muy difícil y muy estresante, que pueden ir a nuestra página de internet que está mencionada ahí arriba, y bajo recursos pueden encontrar diferentes recursos de salud física y también salud mental.
So again, we just wanted to thank everybody for joining us for this really important conversation, and just wanted to note that we will also be sharing an evaluation so that we can get feedback from everyone. It's a short 3-question evaluation. It's just submitted into the chat. So if you could please take a moment to answer those 3 questions, it would be helpful for us to see what the community wants to talk about in a future Plática, and as well as to receive any comments or feedback from this Plática. So thank you everybody for spending your Saturday morning and early afternoon with us.
Y pues quería dar las gracias a todos que se unieron a esta plática, que va a haber una evaluación de 3 preguntas que pueden entregar por el chat y ayudaría mucho para ver qué otras pláticas quisieran tener y también comentarios o sugerencias que tengan. Y pues quiero darle las gracias a todos por unirse aquí a esta plática en su sábado en la mañana y parte de la tarde también.
Gracias.
Gracias.